Hi, how are you?
Um, Relaxed.
Relaxed. Oh, that's good. Why are you relaxed?
Um, I am on vacation, summer
Mm,
vacation,
that's always
summer vacation.
relaxing. Yeah, that's good. That's really nice. So, how long is your summer vacation?
Mm, about 40 days.
Okay, yeah, that's really nice.
Okay.
Yeah, I think,
How about vacation in Spain?
yeah, we have about the same. We have pretty much all of Spain travels in August. So, August is summer vacation. Yeah. So people, because it's very hot here now, so people travel to places that are a little cooler, like in the north of Europe, or they go to the beach. Yeah.
Um, so, um, how long is the vacation?
It depends. I think the average is probably a month. Yeah. So everyone takes August. So 30, yeah, 30 days.
So one year you have they have one vacation or two vacations.
It depends. So in the year, throughout the year, people usually have 2 to 4 weeks of personal vacation time. But then in August, uh, the all of Spain actually does kind of stop working, and it slows down here. So because of that, there is vacation also in August. So, but people take vacation usually. I think the average is probably twice a year that people take vacation.
Twice a year. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
How
Yeah,
often?
we have twice. We have twice
Twice a year.
vacation.
What time of year do you take
So
vacation?
um uh-huh.
What time of year? So do you take vacation in August and what other time?
In July to August
Okay.
and in January to February.
Oh, okay. January to February. Okay. Those are good months to have
I
vacation.
heard your daughter is crying.
Sorry?
Was crying. I heard your daughter was crying.
Yes, she was crying. Yes, she's with
You
my.
need to take care of her.
No, I'm fine. Thank you. Thank you. No, my partner, yeah, the father, her father is taking care of her. But thank you so much. Thank
Okay,
you.
okay. And
Yeah, she was sleeping, and then when I said, "Okay, I have to go teach a class," right right when I said that, she woke up and started to cry. So she was fine, and then she wasn't. But those are, that's a baby, right? So yeah, but I think she's fine now. She's
so
okay.
you take care of her by yourself?
With my partner, with the father, yeah. So we now, because we have vacation, we are able to take care of her together. And then in September, she will go to a nursery. So a nursery. Do you know this word, nursery?
In Spain?
Yeah, so a nursery in Spain. A nursery is a place where the babies will be taken care of by someone else. So she'll go to a nursery for the day, and then we will go to pick her up in the evening after work. So
Well, yeah. You said your daughter will be in the nursery?
in the nursery, yeah, a nursery is like a place where the babies.
A place to take care of babies.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
So that's the first time that she will be in a nursery. So I'm a little nervous, but I think that it's good. It's good for her to see other babies and to have an experience where she can play with other children. Right? That's good.
Yeah. Yeah. Is it expensive?
At the moment, no. So it depends. There are some public nurseries, and then there's private nurseries. The private ones can be expensive, but the public ones are almost free. So that's good. In America, it's different. Yeah, in the United States, it's very different. Most of the nurseries are private and expensive, and very expensive. So that's a little different. Yeah.
Wow. You have in Spain there are many public nurseries.
That's a good question. I think now it depends on the location. So, for example, if you live in the center, for example, we live in the center of Madrid. So in the center, it can be very, there are a lot of nurseries, but it can be very competitive because there are only a certain amount of spaces, or they only allow a certain number of babies. So, for example, they only allow 20 babies per year. So 20 babies is not that much, but there are a lot of options. Where we live, where we're going to live, because we're moving, there are five. There are 5 nurseries in the town, and we were able to have a place in the nursery for her. So that's good. But I think there's a good number of nurseries. Yeah, it's just a little competitive because of the space. They don't allow everyone, so it depends.
How they choose babies?
Yeah, that's a good question too. So what we had to do was we had to fill out an application. And on the application, they ask you questions like, how long have you lived in this town? Or does your baby have a sibling, like a brother or sister that is also in the nursery? And all of those questions will add up to a certain amount of points. And if you have, let's say, 30 points, then it's like a ranking system, right? So they rank the need for the babies, and if you score very high, then you can be accepted. But if you score low, for example, if you have not lived in the town very long, if you don't have a job, right? Those are all ways of ranking low, so you would not be accepted. Yeah.
Ranking? You mean if their parents don't go to college, maybe their children?
It's possible either go to college, but usually if they don't work, so if they're unemployed, then they don't need a nursery, right? So then you would not.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I see. It means the public will see if you need nursery or not.
Exactly. Right. So it's based on necessity. Yeah. Exactly.
I think a public nursery is so good.
I think so. I think it's good. For me, I'm a little scared, and I'm going to miss her. But I think it's good for her to socialize and to be with other babies. Yeah, I think it's a good thing.
It is not far from your place?
No, it's not far. Yeah, it's actually pretty close to her grandmother's house, so she can be close to her grandma too, which is nice. Yeah. Bless you.
Why her grandmother don't take care of her?
She will take care of her some days, but some days she has to. So her grandmother takes care of her aunt. So the aunt is 80 years old, and she needs to be taken care of because she's very old. So she takes care of her some days, but other days she will be able to take care of her granddaughter. Yeah, so she can take care of her too. Yeah.
Oh.
What about in
China?
Mm-hmm.
In China, many granddaughter will be taken care of by their grandmother.
Okay. So the grandchildren will be taken care of by the grandparents?
Yeah.
Okay.
because their parents will have to work.
Mm-hmm.
No one. And if their grandparents are not available, maybe they have to look for someone. They will employ someone
Okay.
to take care of them.
Oh, okay. So here, it's a little different than what we do in the U.S. So in the U.S. we have babysitters. So babysitters, right? Which is a person who takes care of someone else's baby. But here, it's actually in Spanish. It's a little different. It's this translates from Spanish to day mother, which is not a common word or phrase to use in English, but that's what it translates to from Spanish. And it's pretty much a babysitter, an adult babysitter. So we have babysitters too, but that can be expensive. That's sometimes very expensive. Yeah. So grandparents are probably the best choice, right? Because it's free usually, and because the grandparents like to see their grandchildren. Yeah, that's a good choice.
Yeah.
But it's difficult. I think in the nursery it's good because she'll be able to be around other babies and to learn how to share. She'll learn how to socialize, right? So I think this good practice for her. Yeah.
Yeah. How about in America? Their parents will take care of their grandchildren often?
Yeah, it depends. In general, that does happen where you have grandparents taking care of grandchildren. But sometimes, a lot of times actually, the parents do not live close to the grandchildren, right? So, because America, a lot of families move around a lot. So, for example, if there is a mother and father that are living in New York, and the parents are in Georgia, that's pretty far. So they can't really watch the children. So in that case, there will be babysitters or a nursery. But if the grandparents live close to the grandchildren, then that is an option. My mother and my father, they watch my nephews a lot because they live close to each other, because they still live in the United States. So that's an option, yeah. But I think nurseries are becoming more popular too in those types of situations where the grandparents are not close to the grandchildren. Yeah.
Private. Are there many public nurseries in America?
There's actually no public nurseries. Maybe some nurseries that are local nonprofit organizations. They may provide daycare services. So daycare is very similar to a nursery. But most, in fact, I think all of them, maybe 95% of nurseries are private. They're private nurseries.
Wow.
Yeah. And usually they're expensive. Usually they are maybe something like $700 or $800 a month for a child to go to a nursery.
70?
$700 or $800. Right? So
Wow.
$700 to $800. Yeah. It can be that expensive. Yeah. Yeah, and that's expensive. For America, that's expensive. Maybe in certain parts of America it will be cheaper, but it depends on the type of nursery, right? So, but it can be expensive, yeah. Because sometimes people are working just to almost just to pay for the nursery, right? They maybe are working and they make $1,200 a month, right? And then they have to pay $700 a month for nursery. that means that they only have
Wow.
$500 left, right? So sometimes that can be really expensive.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
it's difficult.
Yeah, that's very difficult. Yeah. I think that's why now in America, not that many people, well, people are still having children, but not as much as before. I think the percentage of children, of having children, is declining. Are people having a lot of children in China?
No, many people just will have one child or two children.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Often.
Yeah, that's the same now in America too. It's usually either one or two children. Before, maybe 30 years ago, the average I think was 3 children, 3 to 4 children. That was a lot of money that needs to be spent on children,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Because children are expensive. They really are.
Yeah. And so you said Americans don't want to have many children.
I think that they may want to. I'm not sure if they want to or not want to, but I think that now, because children are expensive, and because I think the culture has changed, now it's preferred that if they do have children, that couples will have 1 or 2 children. They won't have that many.
Well, one or two children.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. We can't afford them.
Exactly.
We
Exactly. We can't afford them, right? It's very expensive. Yeah. And also, it's expensive not just the short term, but the long term. Thinking about
yeah.
university and, right, all those things. That's expensive too. So, yeah.
How about the cost of how about the money baby will cost in
Oof.
1 month?
1 month. So I think maybe the average in America would be anywhere from, it depends, because if the mother is breastfeeding, right? So if they're breastfeeding, then of course that's cheaper because they don't have to pay for food. But if they're paying for food, then I say that maybe a baby can cost anywhere from $300 to $500 easily a month, especially if you're talking about, for example, vaccines, diapers, medicine. All of these things are expensive. So if you have to pay for all of those in a month, then yeah, you can pay $300 to $500. Yeah. Do you know possibly the average in China? How much a baby would cost?
Of course, it depends on the economy of the family, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But many common families, they will cost at least I think I think 2,000 RMB.
Okay, so I think that's almost the same. I think that yeah, that converts to the same. Yeah, it's expensive
because the kind from their birth to 3 years old,
Mm-hmm.
there are much money in milk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because of the breastfeeding, right? Yeah. How old do children breastfeed in China? Up to what age do they breastfeed? Do you know the average? Breastfeed, yeah. So feeding from the mother, right? So if they're getting milk from the mother. So when you.
Sorry, I can't.
So if they getting milk from the mother is breastfeeding. So breastfeeding is when you get the milk from the mother.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mm, uh, I think many. 1 year.
1 year.
1 year.
Yeah. That's the average, I think, here too. Yeah. I think 6 months to a year is the average for breastfeeding. Yeah. And that's
So it's similar in America and Spain.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. In America, yeah, I think the average is 6 months to a year. It depends. I know some mothers who have they need to stop breastfeeding because they have to go back to work. So sometimes it's shorter. But then, of course, I know other mothers that breastfeed for almost a year and a half. So I think it just depends on the family, right, and the child, right? Yeah.
Almost 6 months to 1 year.
Exactly. Yeah, 6 months to a year.
Depends on the mother's time.
Exactly. Right. And it is cheaper if if a mother can breastfeed. That's of course cheaper because then they don't have to pay for food, right? So that's helpful. Yeah.
But is it good to feed their breastfeeding breastfeed their children in 2 years?
Is it best?
Do you think it's good?
I don't know.
2 years.
Yeah, I think it depends on the family. So I know. Yeah, I know. I've known some people who have children that are. I just recently met a mother who has a son that is 3 years old, and he is still breastfeeding. Yeah. Yeah. So that's. I think that's a little not unusual, but that's not as common as probably breastfeeding for 6 months to a year. Yeah. But I think it's normal for the family. Whatever feels correct or normal for the family is good.
In China, when children are 3 years old, they need to go to kindergarten.
Oh, really? Kindergarten. Oh, okay. In the U.S., kindergarten is 6 years old. Well, 5 or 6 years old. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. So that's actually really late compared to China. So kindergarten is 3 years old in China.
3 years old?
I think in Spain it's the same. I think kindergarten in Spain is 3 to 4 years old. Yeah. Yeah. And before that, it's either the nursery or a daycare. Yeah.
But now the necessary is not that common. I think there will be many necessaries because we need them.
Really? So do you think that nurseries are going to become more popular in the future?
I think, yeah.
Yeah. I think it's difficult because when you are, like, for example, for me, I want to be with my baby, but because I need to work, right? You have to put them in nursery, and that's difficult, but it's necessary. So it's what happens. Yeah. That's good. So so then with the school system, so for example in the U.S. we have something called preschool, and preschool is from 2 to 4 years old, and preschool is like before kindergarten, right? So it's like nursery is for babies, preschool is for toddlers, and then kindergarten is for children, and then after that it's elementary school, and then middle school, and then high school, and then of course college or university. So that's all of them there. Yeah.
Nursery,
Mm-hmm.
preschool. What kind of it?
So preschool is pretty much school. It is a school. You have different classes and different ages, but it's only from 2 to 4 years old, and usually it's a private institution as well.
What do
There's
they teach? What do they teach?
Yeah, so that's interesting. So it depends on the preschool. For example, the preschool that I went to, it was a religious preschool. So they taught a lot about religion, which was really interesting. Religion, yeah. It was really interesting. It was a Baptist preschool. So they taught about religion, which was really interesting. But I think they teach children the basics, teaching them their alphabet, colors. They have playtime. Yeah, it's like a nursery, but a little bit more advanced. Yeah.
Oh, more fun. And there are a lot of games.
Yeah, a lot of games, playing in a playground. So like going outside and playing outside, right? So playing in a playground. Yeah.
What about kindergarten? I think your preschool is similar to our kindergarten.
Yeah, kindergarten is when they actually start school, like officially start school. And with kindergarten, that's when you start to learn how to, well, you start not officially, but you start to learn how to read. You start to learn how to really start school in general, to go to classes. Preschool, they have a class, but it's one class per age. Kindergarten, you have maybe art class and playtime, language class, right? It's divided into different disciplines or topics.
Whoa! How long is a kindergarten?
Like the hours?
No. From what age to what age?
So it's usually 5 to 6 years old. It's only for 1 year, and it's usually from 5 to 6 years old. Yeah.
1 year?
Mm-hmm. Only for 1 year.
Only for 1 year.
Yeah.
Kindergarten.
Yeah. Yeah, and then from
the nursery is from birth to 2 years old.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah.
And the preschool is 2 years to 4 years old.
Mm-hmm.
The kindergarten is from 5 to 6.
Mm-hmm.
The
Elementary school is until you're 10 years old. Until 10 years old. So
5 years of
5 years.
elementary school.
Exactly. Right. And then middle school is from
middle school.
10 to 12 years old. So it's 3 years. So 10, 11, 12. And then high school is from I'd say 12, 13. It depends on the age. 13 to 18 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course college is 18 and to being an adult. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Is that the same in China, or is that a little different?
It's similar.
Mm-hmm.
From 3 years to 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
In kindergarten, from 6 years to 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
There are 6 years in elementary school.
Okay.
Yeah. The middle school and high school, there are 3 years.
Oh.
Middle school 3 years. High school 3 years.
Okay. So it's a little similar. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then after high school, do people go to college right away? Do they go to the university, or do they take a break?
They go to university.
Yeah.
After graduation of high school.
Right. Yeah. I think that's a little different. We can probably talk about that tomorrow if you want, talking about the different ideas of going to university and how that's different, because that's a little different in Spain and the US. and also of course in China too. So we can talk about that tomorrow, as well as other things if you want to.
Okay.
Okay.
But tomorrow, I want to talk about the differences in Spain and U.S.
US? Perfect. Absolutely. That's what we'll do. Okay? Then I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Have a good day.
You
Bye-bye.
too.
Mm.